Hey, hey, hey! It is Naima Singletary, thought leader, keynote speaker, and advisor to emerging visionaries who are, I forget to mute that every time, who are changing things, born to change things. And you're not trying to, you're not hoping to, you're not like, what's my purpose? You've known for a while that you have unique powers. I was on the phone with anyway, I could go and go. But what I try to do is be mindful of people who are here for the first time. Like I'm like, my people know I don't need to go into this. But then I'm like, okay, Naima, but there are people who don't know you, who are gonna see you for the first time. Get to the point, right? So first of all, let me get to a few points. One point is the spirit of highness. The coder and I were on the phone earlier today, and that page, as I said, will be ready tomorrow. And the spirit of highness is a gathering happening for the powerful and protected class in San Francisco, December 20th, where we will, first of all, I can say whatever I want to say now, but the reality is things happen when we get in a room. Things that I don't predict. Well, some of it I can predict, but a lot of it I cannot predict. What happens is when powerful people get in a room, I'm talking about uniquely powerful people, not this cookie cutter power that people are talking about on Instagram and wanting to appear influential. I'm talking about folks who were born with it and have been through the fire and have cultivated this power and are able to create things. And it makes me think about a thought. Okay, so let me stay to the point. So my purpose here, for those of you who are seeing me for the first time, my purpose, first of all, is to share thoughts that are in the invisible and to bring them through voice and to have people who feel the same way that I do, who not even just feel, but know what I know, where they can find me. Because part of this, me doing this video, is not just to put out content, it's to send out a beacon. It's to send out a spiritual beacon so my people find me and boom, they reach out and we move forward in whatever way we're meant to move forward. And so I'm also here to make myself known, seen, because I'm also a keynote speaker. I'll be speaking in London next Monday. And I will try my best to broadcast live next Monday. So the event next Monday in London starts at 6 p.m. London time, which is 5 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time. So we'll see, right? I'll communicate with you guys as I get closer and see how that will work itself out. But that's my job here. And so I'm here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Europe time, to share this content, to send out the beacon, to, make myself known and felt. And so today's topic is the dark night after success and your call to highness. And again, I feel so well used being here. Sometimes I don't even book stuff after the show because I feel so spent after the show. Like it is such a joy for me to be here. And so I welcome your comments in the chat while I'm here. And something I discovered on Friday is that I went to try to go back and look at chat comments and they were gone. Because remember, for those of you who were here on Friday, there were some, but I couldn't see them because I didn't have my laptop open like I normally do. And I went back and so apparently sometimes I have to be very specific about keeping the chat function open and then also for me to go back and look at it because apparently the way I set it up, that wasn't set up last week. So I hope I set it up that way, but I have my laptop set up today. So if you comment today and it moves too fast on the screen here, I can look at it here on my laptop to my left. So, okay. I am here in service to, I feel like I've said this many times before, but it's also a reminder for me, because I spend a lot of time in other dimensions and there's things that I choose to remember so I can be efficient in my communication here on planet Earth. And the person who I'm talking to is already successful. Like that's how they're even at this level to be able to really move at this level that I'm talking about. Because my experience is when you have not achieved financial success, when you are still driven by money and you still have a lot of selfish wants, there's nothing wrong with selfish wants. However, when you are still driven by that, when you are still looking to fulfill travel, and don't get me wrong, I'm not over travel. It's not like you get over it. That's not what I mean, right? And this is what I mean by when you're at this level, you know what I mean, and I don't have to explain it. So anyway, when you're at that level of still needing, just like really on a deep level, wanting to have certain things that are joyful and fulfilling to you, like 6 months in Paris, like your first $500,000 in revenue, like taking your family on an all expense paid trip to Greece for a week, or, putting your kids in private school, or, hiring a full-time assistant. Right? Like, I remember when these things were like life changing for me. And so I get it, right? And what I know now that I didn't know then, I keep saying this, but what it is there's things, and I've talked about this before, there are things that must happen for you on the physical plane here on planet Earth to really impress what you already know. Because remember I talked about the knowings that I have now. I knew them in this untouched, green way when I was sleeping in my car building the fashion marketing company. And yet I had not had the experience in the real world to be able to speak from ultimate confidence. You see? And so that's why problems are good. Challenges are good. Having shit that breaks you is really, really good, because what it does is it deepens you down into that which you know that it breaks you. It breaks you, like when you get your heart broke, when you get betrayed, when you feel like you can't make it, when you fuck up in a big way, it breaks you. And that breaking is so beautiful and benevolent. It opens you up to that which you already knew. I fucking love this shit. And so, bring it around. And so, when you fulfill all the selfish desires and you navigate enough of the terror and the hard stuff here on planet Earth, you're then ready to really do the real work, because you're no longer like secretly driven by trying to go to Paris. You're no longer, and not if, whether it's public or secret, you're no longer driven to do these material things, right? Like you do them, you would like to do them, but they don't drive you anymore. They don't motivate you to do the hard stuff. What motivates you to do the hard stuff is seeing your vision real. And so what happened for me, and what has happened for colleagues of mine who are at same level, who are at multiple seven figures, is that once you've achieved a lot of the success and you're hanging out in what most people would consider the lap of luxury, that second dark night of the soul. Dark night of the soul is a common thing, right? When you're on the rise, when you're ascending, when you're creating something great, when you're fulfilling your dreams, dark nights of the soul are prevalent, common, and expected. And so there's the initial introductory dark night of the soul. And then I heard this other multiple seven-figure coach say, and I loved it. As soon as she said it, I got it. She called it the second dark night. And the second dark night, you can only experience it once you've achieved a certain level of success, because then it's like, once you've experienced the typical success, then it's like, now what? Now what? I've proven that I can make the money. I know how this works. Now what? Okay, and this is why, as I talked about last week, I was living in Paris, in the house most of the time, and I literally had pictures of me crying on the couch. Like, afraid to surrender to my next highest level. Just, and I had clients, and I remember one of my clients who I had a more intimate relationship with, and me talking to her about this phase I was going through, and not going too deep, right? Because I'm not going to, vomit over my clients, but we were having a very honest conversation. And she was like, well, most people would think that you haven't made. And I'm like, well, those are people who are underdeveloped. Those are people who are like people at my level or above. They totally relate and understand to what it is that I'm going through. And so and I knew this at the time, but I knew that this was a call to highness. I knew it. I've known it. The expression, there's levels to this. There are levels to this. And you must surrender. You must walk through the terror, of inhabiting pure power. I've talked a lot about inhabiting pure power. I mean, where you're willing to speak truth, where you're willing to yourself. Forget about everybody else. Speaking truth to yourself. Being who you really are, who you know that you know that you know that you are. And I keep saying this because repetition and because it's true. And these are things that you will choose to operate from and will make you bright. Bright is not the word, but sharp. It'll have you be sharp. And so, one, darkness is good. I really wanted to speak to this valley space, this space between no longer where you are, but not where you're going either. And this, I feel like this is preaching to the choir a bit, so I won't go too much into that. But the call to highness looks like this. It looks like this. And so there's, there's just a lot of that in between. Yeah. So does anybody, I feel like that's it. Yeah. Wednesday, there's not going to be a show this coming Wednesday or Friday. There's going to be reruns. The Spirit of Highness website, I will be emailing about that. So if you want details about gathering with the powerful and protected class and you're not on my email list, there's a link with this video to subscribe to my list so you can get that email. That should be going out tomorrow, Wednesday at the latest. The goal is tomorrow though. And really, I want to address any comments or questions about the dark night after success and your call to highness. Does anybody have anything they want to say? Is there anything you would like for me to speak to more about what I've already said? Otherwise, I'm going to wrap up now. I feel like I would be... So I want to talk about the Spirit of Highness, actually, because I'm really excited about this. And Monday I leave to go to London. And I've had time here in the mountains. I have been washed over. And, I was on the train yesterday coming back from Milan, and I was sitting next to this guy from Oregon. And I was telling him that my trip here was not expected or planned, but it was exactly what I needed. And this is really extraordinary. I wish I was in a room right now with, which is part of why I'm excited about December 20th, but my desire is to be in a room with those of you who I'm soulfully aligned to serve. It has been made clear to me that I am living in a time, and people who I am meant to serve are living in a time where we can use our powers. I realized how much I had learned about the laws of the third dimension and had mastered them playing by the rules of the third dimension. While having my intelligence, my higher level intelligence, but still playing by the rules of the third dimension. And as I was driven by, yes, serving people, but only under the condition that I would be paid well, that gets boring and old. And that's part of what had me crying in my apartment in Paris last year, afraid to surrender, because I had gotten really good at playing by the laws of the third dimension. And for those of us who are here to change things, and you have been, you've activated the codes that you were born with, you will not, it is impossible for you to be, it is literally impossible. This is not my opinion. You don't even have to believe me. I already know, okay? Because I am it, as you are it. And what I know is there is no way that you will be truly fulfilled. I'm not talking about, like, you can believe it or not, but I am not fulfilled traveling, luxury. I can have all those things, and just the mere thought of them are uninteresting to me now. Now, before, when I was playing by the laws of the third dimension, oh God, you invite me to Paris, I'm there. You invite me to Italy, I'm like, I was gone. Now, you can keep it. Where are my people? Are we really moving things here? Are we really doing the work? Am I really doing the work that I was born to do? And so what I'm really looking forward to with the Spirit of Highness, December 20th in San Francisco, is anybody who comes into this room, and I made it very clear on the event page, and you guys will see that I have the full right to refund money with anybody who I feel like their vibration is not in alignment with the principles, because it is so important to me that we move things, that we birth, that I birth, that you birth the thing that does not yet exist. And that is not going to happen with having these people in the room who just want to be in the room. You know those people. I know people like this who they want to grab at the hem of Jesus, but they don't want to practice the principles. They're not committed to their DNA work. And so if you know, right, like this is very clear. This is very clear. That's what I love about this. This is what I love, first of all, about higher dimensions. This is what I love about truth. And this is what I love about surrender, is that there's no muddiness. There's no maybe. There's no, it's so crystal fucking clear. And so as I speak now, as you read the webpage, which will be delivered through email tomorrow or Wednesday at the latest, it is so clear who this is for and who this is not for. I've been in the transformation space since 2011. I have seen so many people come and go. I have seen the rookies. I have been a rookie. I have seen the ones who ascend. I've seen the ones who have failed and failed and failed and keep going. I have seen the ones who have cried, who've let the public see them, who've achieved their first 10,000, 30,000, 50,000, 100,000, 500,000, million, multiple. I've seen it all. I've seen liars. I've seen pretenders. I've seen powerful. I've seen folks powerful and struggle with being powerful in public. I've seen every race. I've seen all of it. And what I know, I know this. There's many things I don't know. What I know is there is a select group of people in the world. And that's part of why I do this show, is to send the beacon out. There's a loud beacon that I send into the spiritual ethers by doing these videos, to call these people who have never seen me or met me before, but they know what I know. And they're looking to be linked with their people. And they have high standards, and they are refined, and they have acute intelligence. And I'm not talking about book smart. They have acute intelligence, acute awareness, and they're not fucking with nobody else who ain't at that level. That's who this event is for. And there's a surrender as well that's involved. Surrender. So you're also allowed, even if you aren't highly cultivated, but you have surrendered. See, because it's so funny. I was thinking about this earlier today, and it fits perfectly right now, is that the surrendered and the non-surrendered cannot commingle in a real way. Like if we're just doing a shallow thing, we're out at some social thing real quick and we're kind of passing, we can be cordial and we can pass in the night. But at a gathering like this, the Powerful and Protected class in San Francisco, December 20th, or at some, mastermind or some other environment where we're calling on the laws of higher dimensions and really tapping in, the surrendered and the non-surrendered cannot coexist. There's the disruption, destruction and harm is what will happen. And I know this. And so even if you are not, and you know this, like when you're honest, even if you're not, where you know that you're not at the level of high discernment and high consciousness that I'm talking about, you have surrendered, so you're on your way, right? Like the surrender opens the door for you to have access, right? When you're not surrendered, the judgment is through the roof. Like you have a very unhealthy relationship with judgment. You can't handle incoming information because you're surrendered. You're outside the door. It's like trying to get information out in there when you're out here. It just doesn't work. And so I have women who are coming to me now, and it's so pure. It's so like, especially as I'm telling people who I'm not here for. And I didn't think I needed to do that. My marketing strategist was like, you need to say that. And I was like, do I? And then I was getting these messages from people that was like, I got a message from a woman that said, it seemed like a good idea to message you. Right? I'm exploring my options. I was like, oh, I do need to be clear about who I'm not for and who I am for. But actually, the people who I am for, they know better. They do. They know better. And I choose to trust that. And so there's been no see people watching right now, and you're just watching and you have nothing to say. I imagine my people would have something to say. So you're not my people and you just like watching me. Those are the people that I are like want to sit at the hem of Jesus but don't actually embody the principles. I'm grateful my internet hasn't cut off. Anybody before I go? I have a VIP day in San Francisco on Friday, December 21st. And I have space for a half a VIP day in San Francisco as well. So if you know that you are meant to be in connection with me and you are looking to birth something that doesn't exist and really refine and have the speed that happens when you get in a room with a powerful person, a master, and have that quickening of consciousness, that quickening of production, that quickening and refinement and sharpening of awareness that allows you to make decisions, move fast. I mean, these are the things that happens inside of a VIP day. And so I have availability for the 22nd, which is a Saturday, yes, December 22nd, for a half of a VIP day at the beautiful Fairmont, which is a 5-star historic destination. If you care about that, I do, because the environments really feed. If you didn't know, and anyway, I can see myself going off on it. Stay here, Naima. Environments wake up dormant, particularly if it's in your blueprint. If it's in your blueprint to be ignited by opulent environments, like aromas and environments and visual things, and right, it starts to wake up ancient information within you, within your cells. Like, we're not just doing this to be cute, right? I'm in these high places because they sharpen me, they refine me, they wake me up in ways that, sitting in an apartment in the mountains in Italy does not do. And so I want that for myself, not even want, I require that for myself, and I require that for my clients. And so you have that in a VIP day, or half a VIP day on Saturday, December 22nd. So my email is also with this video down below. And you email me if you want to, if you know that a half a VIP day, which is private time, you and I, where we get to be together and look at who you are, where you're going, what your business is, who you're meant to serve, what your greatest challenges are, if there's any shame that you're harboring, what your financial goals are, like all those details and all the stuff that circulates through your mind that you're consciously aware of that you want to address, and then all the stuff that comes up for every single client of mine who contacts me because she just knew we were meant to work together, who contacts me and we get in a room and shit that she didn't even know was in her system, that was hardwired into her, that was controlling the way she was deciding, the way she was moving. When she enters this room, this high room, all this stuff starts to wake up and come up. And so shit that's in the way starts to come out. I've had clients throw up in the shower in our VIP days. I've had clients have like fits because shit is coming out, because the real shit underneath is wanting to have room to birth the thing that does not exist. And this was happening before I even surrendered into this body of work that I'm doing now. And so it's been experiences like that, and then plus having my own suffering and finally surrendering, that lets me know that so much is possible for you in a room in a VIP day. So that's available. That's $7,500. That's in San Francisco, December 22nd. And then December 20th is the Spirit of Highness. Admission is $500. That website will be sending out tomorrow, no later than Wednesday. And it will be delightful. It will be absolutely delightful. Such exquisite attention to detail, because this is also in service to me as much or even more than it is in service to you. Oh, sorry, reverse that. Because it's also in service to me, it is naturally, right? I make it so that it's a place for masters, right? Because only masters can speak to masters. So that's it for now. I see people watching and nobody has anything to say. This is kind of wow for this level of material. So I will be in communication to see about Monday. I might just go live on Monday. Like, there's not going to be a plan or anything. Oh, I see a comment. But there's not going to be a show this Wednesday or Friday. There's going to be repeats that we're going to be sending out. And then on Monday, my goal, I really want you guys to get the content. My goal is to broadcast from this businesswomen's event in London. So it's gonna be awesome. I expect it to be. So let me see if I can go up and look at the comment here. What is going on with my screen? Hold on, I'm trying to go up. Oh, there we go. There we go. The ABS. Hi, the ABSC. Is that your actual screen name? Yeah, it is. The ABSC. Keep being great. Your work is so needed to win people who like awareness or clarity. Oh, you're welcome, darling. And then Euthiol Ben's. Oh, Stephanie, hi. Ben's Abundance. Who is Ben, Stephanie? I am not able to pay for your services as I listen to teacher and implement everything I'm able to and continue to work. Okay, great. Very cool. I'm not here to just really masturbate. Good. Very good. You've been listening. Okay. She says, I'm not here to spiritually masturbate. Good. I talked about that a few shows ago about people who just show up to, you know. All right. I have to get going. Okay, goodbye. We spoke moons ago about being on your show, James. Oh, hi, James. Wow, I do. I remember you being this lighter skin, thin black guy. Is that true? Am I remembering correctly? Okay, I think that's everybody. I think that's everybody. Wonderful. Well, you guys, happy holidays. I love being here. Can you tell? I just really love being here. Christmas is my favorite holiday of the year. I'm really looking forward to having an extraordinary Christmas in the San Francisco Bay Area. You know, that's where I'm from. That's where my family is. My sister is doing it up. She's getting a big tree and she's cooking, and she is like Martha Turner meets P. Diddy in the kitchen. And so I'm just looking forward to the greenery. You know, I was in Milan and doing video of all the decorations they've started to put up in the city center. So I look forward to being in San Francisco and seeing the big tree and the carols and the music and the smells of the pine cones and and you know, just all that way that the spirit of others and thinking of others and slowing down comes up during the holidays at a time when it doesn't come up any other time of the year. It just really shows itself. People are more generous and caring, and I just love that so much. So I look forward to sharing in that with those of you who come to the Spirit of Highness in San Francisco, December 20th. And it is such a joy. It is such a joy to be here. It is such a joy to be in service to those of you who I'm soulfully aligned to work with. And thank you so much for being here. Share this video if you have found value, and I'll look forward to connecting with you guys. My goal, just know my goal is to be able to broadcast live from London, okay? So if it doesn't happen, that means something happened, and I'll tell you guys about it next week, okay? Because I will be live again next week. If not Monday, then definitely Wednesday. And Wednesday, I should be back in California, okay? So, mwah, 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 mwah. Lots of love. Thank you so much for being here, and I will talk with you soon. Arrivederci from the mountains of Italy.